Welcome to the Church Answers podcast. My name is Thom Rayner. My co-host, Jess Rayner, is on vacation. If you heard the previous podcast, you know that he's taking his daughter on a Disney trip, just the two of them, because she's about to become a teenager. Oh, you know what that means? That means I got teenage grandchildren. I think 4 or 5 of them now, the 10 living grandchildren. That's just incredible. I'm just old. I'm just really, really old. I'm proud of him for taking her on this vacation. I actually don't mind covering for him. Sometimes when he's out, I just want to say, what are you doing leaving me by myself? But hey, he's back. And hey, by the way, in 2026, we're going to have 3 of us. We're going to have me and Jess and Chuck Lawless, and we'll be introducing that in a few months. Anyway, so I want to talk about the church number of 79%. What does that mean? I'll tell you in just a minute. First of all, let me thank our sponsor, Church Answers University. You need to look on it in the show notes and go to churchanswers.com or look up churchanswers.university. There are many different ways you can get there. And you take 10 courses, you read 10 relatively short books, you listen to the videos, you take a pass-fail test. If you fail it, you take it again. And when it's all said and done, you have a certification, you have a diploma. And many people are using that in lieu of a ministry degree, whether they're lay people or whether they're ministers, pastors, or whatever. But now it is connected to a seminary. Redemption Seminary is giving our Church Answers University students 9 hours credit toward a 36-hour Master of Arts in Biblical Studies. So what that means is it's like you've taken 3 courses of the 12 already. It is amazing. And by going through Church Answers, which is highly affordable, by the time you go through Church Answers University, you have 3 of your courses done, paid for, all taken care of. You just have 9 more courses to go at the very affordable Redemption Seminary. So check it out. We're so excited about Church Answers University. And we love the fact that so many people are already moving to Church Answers University. Some for the diploma by itself, which is great. Some for the diploma plus the ability to get 1/4 of a master's done. We have been, last week, I can't say I haven't been doing it a whole long, but been talking about the church number. And I bring up one number and I try to dissect it. I do dissect it. Whether I dissect it well or not remains to be seen. But I dissect it and I say, what does this number mean? Why am I talking about this single number? Well, I'll do that on occasion in these podcasts. I like to just look at one number and dig in. The church number that we're looking at now is 79%. 79%. What are these? What's 79%? Listen to this. The number of church attenders who say church is very important to their lives. Oh my goodness, we're seeing all kinds of trends take place. The number of people who are returning to church, particularly among Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the fact that people are more committed to church, more people are attending weekly. And now we get this data point. 8 out of 10, 79% say that if they're a church attender, church is very important in their lives. This data comes from an article that's called "This Place Means Everything to Me: Key Findings from a National Church of Church Attendance in Post-Pandemic United States" in the 2023 FACT study, FAC study. It's absolutely amazing. It's published by the Hartford Institute for Religion Research, massive research, and in the case of these numbers, very encouraging. All right, some points I want to make. Why does this number matter? What is it? What is it about this number that matters so much? Well, one, we're living in a culture of secularism, whether we're talking about Western culture or whether we're talking about global culture. There's a lot of secularism. 79% of church members, though, say the church means a lot to me. That is no small matter. That is an indication that the church, those who are going, really realize that the local church, not just the universal church, but that the local church is the bride of Christ. And they are committed to the church, and it means so much to them. So what is happening is we're seeing cultural Christianity fall by the wayside, and that's good. Now we have a self-identified post-pandemic group that are saying the church is central to their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't get too much more excited about this. This is like my prayer, my dream of working on local church issues for as long as I have. I remember when I first began to do my first research. I'm going to reflect my age. In 1984, by the time 1988 came along, I had done a consultation. 1989, I had written my first book. So I've been in this a long time. And I am more encouraged about the shape of the church, the trajectory of the church, the direction of the church than any time I ever have been. This is a big deal. And it's something that we should get lackadaisical about, but it is something we should definitely celebrate. So, who are these 79%? These are among, for certain, the frequent attenders. They have high levels of engagement in the church. They have strong emotional ties to their church community. And though I did not see this, I may have missed it, so I'm not going to say that the fact study didn't have it. I'm just going to simply say I bet many of these people were in small groups. And I bet that they were growing in Christ and growing in their love of their church because they were in a group or a Sunday school class. So contrast this with the broader culture narrative of, religion is declining, Christianity is declining, local churches are declining. There's some truth to that for sure, but the trend is beginning to move in another direction. And it's a God-glorifying direction where it's moving toward greater commitment to the local church. So you may ask this question, Thom, is it important to be committed to the local church, or is it just important to be committed to Christ? Well, friend, you cannot be fully committed to Christ unless you're committed to the local church. He gave us the local church as his ministry on earth until he returns. It's his plan A, and he didn't give us a plan B. And you look at the swath of the New Testament from Acts 2 to Revelation 3, it's written about the local church, to the local church, in the context of the local church, or to leaders in the local church. Think how important the local church is to the New Testament. Think how important the local church is to God. This is a big deal, and it's something that we should celebrate in contrast to what many people are saying is happening in our broader culture. One thing that I've seen, and this is my segue to our sponsor, but it's a very natural segue. One thing that I have seen, with the greater commitment to the church comes a greater commitment to reaching the community with the gospel of Christ. And I've said this many times. I'm just going to say it straightforward. I really don't know of many better ways to reach people in the community than through sports ministries. It's non-threatening, it's fun, it connects people together. And there has been one organization that has been at the forefront of this for a half a century, Upward Sports. I love the fact that they are part of our ministry team, that we work together. I think I mentioned in the last episode that I told Jennifer McCraw, the director of marketing at Upward, that I felt like I was a walking billboard for Upward. I know she liked that, but it's true. And it's not because I have a transactional relationship, or Church Answers does, with Upward. It's because I love what they're doing. Their ministries are getting people in the community through getting church members in the community through sports ministry. They have so many of them. The one I want to feature right now is Upward Running for Adults. Hey, offer a 5K challenge in your church. You just really need one committed person in your church to make it happen. You don't need a basketball court. You don't need a baseball field. All you need is people who can organize it and help run in the community. They give you a fully customizable program. They tell you everything that you need to do. They will take you by the hand and say, this is how you do it. So of all the many sports, basketball, pickleball, all these other sports that they offer, softball, I could go down the list. This one is a good entry point because one committed person in the church can help run this, working with Upward. So check it out. Go to Upward upward.org/runcoach. That's upward.org/runcoach. They're part of what God's doing in the local church, where we're seeing some of these incredible trends that are so incredibly exciting and encouraging. Okay, let's go back to the church number. 79%. So what does that mean again? 79% say, attenders say the church is very important to their lives. What are some implications for pastors and leaders? Hey, it's just a reminder that what you're doing as a leader of a local church is important. And it's a reminder that you have a highly engaged base already in place. They matter, and they're ready to do some work for you, with you, and for the glory of God into the community. So you just need to be asking this question: what can you do to better serve and mobilize those who already view the church as very important? They're waiting to serve. Maybe it's simply asking more. And just for the sake of argument, don't ask from the pulpit for people to volunteer. Maybe there's a place for that. Ask people individually if they would be willing to do a ministry, or have someone ask them individually if they would be willing to do a ministry. Just keep that in mind. These churches have almost 8 out of 10 of their members who say church is very important to them. So this number matters a whole lot, because we're seeing a trend shift. Who are the 90%, 79%? Most of these are those who attend every week. What are the implications for pastors and leaders? It's a reminder that you have a base that's ready to move, ready to go. And then finally, don't waste this moment. With 79% of church members, church attenders, saying church is important to them, we have an opportunity to lead them, to be more intentional in mission and in discipleship and outreach. Leverage this group in the best sense of the word leverage for greater community impact and for evangelism. Well, what can I do? I'm just going to give you one possible thing. Start with the Hope Initiative. Thom, what's the Hope Initiative? It's a 30-day emphasis to get people moving in a direction of prayer and reaching their community. It's very non-threatening. After 30 days, you'll see a cultural shift in your church. We've never heard of a church that didn't have a shift as a result of the Hope Initiative. It uses a book called Pray and Go, and it's a 30-day challenge. As a matter of fact, tonight I'll be actually speaking to a church in the Virginia area that is about to send all of their members through Pray and Go, or the Hope Initiative as it's called. Pray and Go is the book. And I cannot wait, because this is a church where the pastor has been motivated, and now the people are getting motivated, the leaders are getting motivated. And it's just part of this trend. 79% of church attenders say church is very important to their lives. I'm doing something that's probably a bit narcissistic and self-centered at the least. I'm writing an autobiography. Do I expect anybody to read my autobiography? Maybe my sons. I don't think Nellie Jo will. Maybe the boys will. Maybe they'll thumb through it. Maybe my daughters-in-law will. Maybe 1 or 2 of my grandchildren will at some point. I don't think there's a big audience to hear about the life of Thom Rainer. But I wanted to leave a legacy for my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, where I talked about the things that matter to me, talking about family, talking about relationships and friendships. And I talk a lot about the church in this autobiography. I'm not finished with it. I'm under no deadline. Probably will be released a year plus from now, maybe 2 years from now, after I'm fully done with it. But I haven't been amazed, but I have been encouraged to see how important the local church is in my life. For those of you who know my story, I was unchurched as a teenager. I went to church, preteen, I was a part of 3 different church splits, decided to quit for some reason that I still don't know to this day. My parents let me. I stopped going to church, didn't get back in church shortly after I got married to Nellie Jo, who gently encouraged me back into church. And for me to go from unchurched, but still a Christian, and into the church where I could live out with other believers, my faith was transformative for me. So when I talk about how passionate I am about the local church, it is not just some type of academic exercise. It is what has really happened in my heart and in my life. And so I will continue to talk about the local church. I'll continue to use the Church Answers podcast as one of my bullhorns to get that message out. That is why it is so important. What is the church number? The church number is 79%. That's the number of church attendees who say church is very important to their lives. Wow. We are at an opportune time. We're at a time that may end up even being a revival when it's all said and done. I'm encouraged, but I'm not lethargic. I want to do something about what God has done, who's put us in a situation of an Esther-like moment for such a time as this. Well, once again, let me remind you of Church Answers University. Church Answers University is a place where you can get a diploma, which is a faster and different path than a degree. Many church members and leaders are electing to get their diploma through Church Answers University. There are 10 courses. We supply the books for free. Good books. Tyndale has published most of them and written by different authors, some whom you'll recognize when you open the box and your books come into the mail. The courses are all video-based. You take them at your own pace. Usually someone can get a diploma within about 6 months, and they're all said and done. You're working through a workbook. You do have a test, if you will, at the end of every course, but it's pass-fail, and take it over if you fail. It's just we want to make sure that you've gotten all the information right. You will pass it, obviously, because you can keep on taking it till you pass it. And then if you want to, you can take that diploma from Church Answers University, which you can do in about 6 months at a very low price, and you can apply that to a Master of Arts in Biblical Studies at Redemption Seminary, fully accredited degree. You would eliminate, it's a 36-hour degree. You've already taken 9 of those hours. You've taken 1/4 of the degree by going through Church Answers University. It saves you money, it saves you time, but it gives you the same full benefit of going through these courses at maybe a slower pace and a more expensive pace. So let me recommend that to you again, Church Answers University, the place to get your diploma that can transfer and become a Master of Arts in Biblical Studies. Well, once again, thank you for being a part of Church Answers. Thank you for being a part of the Church Answers podcast. And I got one more episode, and then Jess Rayner will be back, and it'll be good to have him back in the co-host slot with me. But until then, I'm Thom Rayner, and you have been listening to the Church Answers podcast. Or if you're on YouTube, you've been watching. If you're watching, hey, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to us. If you're listening, give us a rating and review and subscription as well. It's your favorite podcasting app. Once again, this is the Church Answers podcast. See you in the next episode.